My son accidentally exposed my wife's affair at the dinner table. Reddit cheating stories. Dinner tables are supposed to be places of warmth, laughter, and connection. They're where families come together after long days to share meals, stories, and love. But on one unforgettable night, mine became the stage for the most shocking betrayal of my life. A betrayal revealed not by anger, not by suspicion, but by the innocent honesty of my own son. My name is Daniel. I'm 38, married to Claire for 12 years, and father to a bright 9-year-old boy, Ethan. To anyone who saw us from the outside, we looked like the perfect little family. We had the house in the suburbs, the weekend barbecues, the photos on the wall that painted a picture of harmony. But what no one could see were the cracks forming beneath the surface, cracks that widened into a chasm on that night at the dinner table. It started like any other evening. I had just come home from work, exhausted but happy to sit down with my family. Claire had made one of my favorites, lasagna. She was always a good cook, and no matter how busy she was, she took pride in making dinner feel special. Ethan sat across from me, excitedly chattering about his day at school. I remember thinking how grateful I was in that moment, despite the usual stress of work and life. Halfway through the meal, Ethan leaned forward with the innocence only a child could carry and said, "Mom, are we going to see Uncle Mark again this weekend? He always buys me ice cream when you take me to the hotel." The fork slipped from my hand and clattered onto the plate. For a second, I thought I misheard him. The words hung in the air, sharp and suffocating. Claire froze, her face draining of color, her smile vanishing as quickly as it came. "What did you say, buddy?" I asked gently, my voice trembling. Ethan, oblivious to the storm brewing, repeated without hesitation, "You know, Uncle Mark. The one who plays with me when Mom goes to see him at the hotel. He's really nice. He even gave me money for the arcade." The room spun. My heart pounded so loudly I could hear it in my ears. I turned to Claire, her hands shaking, eyes darting like a trapped animal. "Claire," I whispered, my voice low but heavy with the weight of betrayal, "what is he talking about?" She stammered, "Daniel, it's not what you think. He doesn't understand. He's just confused." But children don't confuse details like that. Not hotels. Not ice cream. Not names. The dinner table, once a place of love, became a battlefield of silence. I looked at Ethan, his innocent face searching mine for reassurance, completely unaware of the bombshell he had just dropped. And I looked at my wife, the woman I had trusted with my heart, my family, my life, sitting across from me with guilt painted all over her face. That night, after putting Ethan to bed, the confrontation exploded. Claire broke down and admitted everything. Mark wasn't her brother. He wasn't family. He was her coworker, someone she had been confiding in when she felt lonely in our marriage. It started with conversations, then lunches, then meetings at a hotel that Ethan, unfortunately, had witnessed firsthand when she had no choice but to bring him along once or twice. I felt like the ground had been ripped from under me. 12 years of marriage, 12 years of memories, all tainted in an instant. I asked her why. Why destroy everything we built? Why betray not just me, but our son's innocence? Her answer was selfish and heartbreaking. She said she felt unappreciated, that I was too focused on work, that she wanted to feel alive again. Words that cut deeper than knives. The days that followed were chaos. Claire begged for forgiveness, saying she wanted to fix our marriage. But I couldn't unhear Ethan's words, couldn't unsee her lies. My son, with all his innocence, had pulled back the curtain on a truth I never wanted to face. I filed for separation, and the house that once rang with laughter became eerily quiet. Ethan struggled to understand why mommy and daddy weren't together anymore. I tried to shield him from the ugliness, but children always know more than we give them credit for. One night, as I tucked him into bed, he whispered, "Dad, are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong when I told you about Uncle Mark?" Tears welled in my eyes. I hugged him tightly and said, "No, son. You did nothing wrong. You told the truth, and the truth is never wrong. You're the bravest little boy I know." And in that moment, I realized something important. Betrayal, no matter how devastating, doesn't define you. What defines you is how you rise from it. I couldn't change what Claire had done, but I could choose what kind of father I wanted to be for Ethan. Strong, honest, loving. It's been 2 years since that night at the dinner table. Claire and I are officially divorced. She still sees Ethan, but our relationship is strictly co-parenting. I've built a new life, one centered on healing and rediscovering myself. Ethan is growing, thriving, and I make sure he knows he is loved beyond measure. Looking back, I still feel the sting of betrayal, but I also feel gratitude. Gratitude for the truth, even if it hurt. Gratitude for the strength I didn't know I had. And most of all, gratitude for my son, who unknowingly saved me from living a lie. Because sometimes, the harshest truths come from the most innocent voices. And though it shattered me, it also set me free.